So welcome to all to this third webinar of a series of 4. And today we will talk about IT operation management, or ITOM. And we have only 1 hour to cover the whole portfolio, which is pretty extended, I would say. So we will try to go fast. And the agenda is pretty simple. I will start with an overview of the Micro Focus Partner Program, so you know more or less what you can expect from it. And then I will let the word to Stéphane Brier, who is, I don't know what's your official title, pre-sales?
I'm a pre-sales engineer.
Pre-sales
called
engineer.
it sales engineer.
Okay, what's in the name? With a guy knowing a lot about all products and around the item portfolio. So I will jump just to the other presentation. So these are slides from from Micro Focus. So why a partnership with Micro Focus? Of course, to ease the business, to make you aware at Micro Focus, and so that sales from Micro Focus know that you have accreditations and that you have knowledge in their products. Also, you will be registered officially on their website. So in fact, customers who are looking for Micro Focus solutions can also more easily find you. And that's nice, but also the nice part is that it brings you also some advantages like back rebates or marketing development fund to help you to start marketing campaign and to promote yourself and your solution based on Micro Focus. The Micro Focus portfolio is very large, so there are six I would say portfolios of products. We already covered last week the application delivery management and in fact data protector, and today we are concentrating ourselves on the third one here, the green one, IT operations management. And on Thursday we have last webinar around cyber risk, so more about security and authentication and so on, but more than that also. So the partnership is, I would say, pretty easy and straightforward. You start as authorized, for which you don't have a lot of requirement, except that you have to register yourself as partner on the Micro Focus Partner website. And then acquiring extra certification and knowledge, you can jump to gold partnership or even platinum if you are very successful and you run more than $1 million per year of business with Micro Focus. So as I said, the first things to do if you want to become partner is to go on the Micro Focus website, which is microfocus.com, and you fill in a registration form as company to declare your company as partner, or at least to request a partnership. And once this is, I would say, agreed by Micro Focus, which is within the 48 hours, can even be a bit faster, you can, in fact, you create your own account to access the partner portal. And as I said, once you have done that, you are authorized. You already have discounts on the price list. But if you want to have marketing fund and back rebates and so on, you have to certify people, two person for sales certification, 2 for technical. This can be the same person. He will just have to pass the exam for both category, I would say. You will also see, if you go on the portal, that all exams, all trainings are also split across the different portfolios. So you can concentrate yourself on ITOM, for example, and you will get a certification. You will be recognized also on the website as ITOM specialist. As I said, platinum is gold with just an achievement on revenue. And here is a brief overview. Yeah, before I forgot, you will get also all the slides within a few days, so you will be able to dig deeper into all this. But as you can see, with authorized, you have just maybe I will try to pointer. You have just this set of I would say advantages. You can already do deal registration, but you have I would say a back rebate which is basic, and when you're gold, you are entitled to get more back rebate. But you also have planning for go to market and MDF and so on, so you can go further and I would say. You have more tools to be known on the market. So one important thing for the companies that have, I would say, subsidiaries in other countries is that the certification I just talked for to become gold are not linked to a specific country, but to a specific region. And our region for Belgium is Gallia, which covers, in fact, Belgium, Luxembourg, and France, which means that if you are certified in Belgium, your subsidiary in Luxembourg or France will have the same, I would say, the same advantages as you have in Belgium. Or the other way around, if your colleagues in France, for example, got the certification, this means that in Belgium, you also have the certifications. Okay, there are other Germany, Switzerland, and so on. I mean, but this is what you have to remember is Gallia is France, Belgium, and Luxembourg. So certification enablement. This is, I would say, pretty easy traject. Once you're onboarded, you can find on the portal, and at the end of the presentation, I have just one screenshot of the partner portal. You can find the certification per product group, per portfolio, and you can find the sales and the technical certifications. To be honest, it takes a bit of time, but not too much. I managed to do them. I mean, it's easily you can do the sales and the technical the same day if you concentrate yourself, I would say. So it doesn't take days and days to become certified, and all certifications are free also as the partnership. And if you want to have a deeper knowledge of the products, you can have advanced technical trainings, which allows your technical guys to have more knowledge and to be able, for example, to install products and to better serve your customers. And also maybe one important point is the continuous learning, which is a set of trainings allowing you, and it's supposed you have the basic knowledge of the products, and it allows you in fact to remain updated with the latest versions. So you don't have to, I would say, start all over again to when there is a new version. You have the continuous learning to keep you updated with that. The deal registration overview. I mean, it's pure text. This is maybe the most important thing with the rebates you can expect. So in fact, the basic back rebate for authorized is 10% if you do the deal registration and it is not known to Micro Focus. But if you are gold or platinum, you can have the tier rebate extra, which can bring you up to 15 or 10% for the gold, 15 for the platinum. So this can bring you a nice, I would say, advantage if you have that. And I mean, after that, just a list of what you can register as deal. And in fact, I would say this is all new deals, all new subscriptions or new license sales. So there is no, if you see here, you will see somewhere there is no renewals. Of course, it's too easy to, but I mean, all other new business not known to Oracle are not known to Micro Focus are open for deal registration. It's also important to have a good contact with the sales guys at Micro Focus, of course, to be sure that you are synced with them. They know you are working on it, and they can help you also. MDF. This is a I would say the process to make it sure you have to make it short. Sorry, you define an activity. You submit the activity through the portal to Micro Focus. They could come back with some questions, and when they agree on the budget and on the, I would say, the planning and the activity, sorry, you have an approval. You execute the activity. Of course, you have to deliver some proof of execution. Like today, I will have to send the registration list and so on, and maybe the recording of the activity. And then when it's, I would say, checked and agreed, you got the invoice from Micro Focus. So I would say it's the standard way for all vendors to get money and to have activities, which can be webinars, which can be, I would say, mailings. Micro Focus is pretty open on what is possible or authorized. And the portal, it's not a screenshot. The real portal is this one when you log in, and there you have links to the certification, the training. You have an overview of the MDF, so in fact of the activities that you are already planning, but also through this, I would say, website, you can also request MDF. You can get leads, and then you find them here too. And you have also links to product announcements, to all information interesting for the partners. This is, I think, the last slide for the partnership. I don't know, Stefan, if you have anything to, I would say, Stefan D, if you have anything to add. Try to be short, because this is not the most important part of the presentation, I would say. But yeah,
so I think it's been exhaustive, Bernard. So that's okay. Let's move to the portfolio part of the solution.
Okay, so I will stop sharing and give the word to Stéphane Brier, which is, I would say, the most important part.
Yeah, thank you, Bernard. Okay, also let me share my my screen. Okay, can you confirm?
Yes.
That you see my screen? Let me see here. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, I have a hard stop at 10 o'clock, so I'll try to finish everything within 45 minutes and explain our portfolio. And as Bernard already pointed out, today's session is about the IT operations management portfolio of our company. Very quickly about myself. So I'm a sales engineer within the Gallia region, which is indeed Belgium, Luxembourg, and France, focusing on IT management, which is the combination of IT operations management and application delivery management, for which we had the session last Friday. I'm with the company already since quite some time, since 25 years now, and I know some of the products more in detail than otherwise. So my main focus is the IT operations management space. So very quickly, to make sure that you understand our company, a very quick overview of the company before we zoom into the item portfolio. So Micro Focus is a very large, is a pure software company, a large software company, one of the larger software companies in the world. We have more than 40,000 customers with offices all around the world, Micro Focus is actually still not very known from branding point of view. But if you look at the right-hand side of the slide, there you can see that this company has grown over its more than 40 years of existence already. By acquiring a lot of other companies. So it has acquired a lot of companies, and that's also a lot of brands, which you see on the right-hand side. And one of the most important acquisitions that Micro Focus did was in 2017, when they acquired the full software business unit out of Hewlett Packard, or Hewlett Packard Enterprise to be correct. And with that, most of the IT operations management products that are today within Micro Focus portfolio are, let's say, a legacy from or an heritage from the Hewlett-Packard HP software. And if we tell that to customers or to enterprises, then usually a bell rings, and then they know what it is about. We have a very extended portfolio. Bernard already mentioned it. Let's say 4 large domains, which everything related to support and to deliver quality and applications on time and in line with the business. The second part is all the solutions that, and we will discuss that today. I will explain that today, the portfolio, everything related to how to manage your IT estate in a hybrid world. The third very large part is everything related to cyber resiliency, not only incident, event management, log management, etc., but also very much focusing on everything which is related to information management and governance. Think about solutions you need to support GDPR, for example, or GXP compliance in pharmaceutical companies, etc. So we provide quite a lot extensive offering for that. And the fourth main solution set is a set of products and solutions that provide insights on all kinds of structured and unstructured data, whether it's video, audio, text, and so on. So there we have solutions that, for example, are used by security services in smart cities, or by police departments for camera analysis, vision analysis, and things like that. So these solutions provide really data insights that can help businesses grow. But today, we are going to zoom into our portfolio of IT operations management, or what we call it, so IT operations management for the hybrid IT of these days. And our portfolio is based on 4 functional areas that we will zoom into. An area related to service management, or let me start from the left-hand side. So functionality and solutions that allow you to create services, to design services, and make them available for consumption. Once the services are made available for consumption, we can manage them with our service management functionalities. When a service is being consumed by end users, of course, by the end users and by the customers, the service has to be monitored. So we need to provide observability for the services which are being deployed. And this is where our service assurance offering comes into play, where we monitor the availability, the performance, where we can do impact analysis, root cause analysis, things like that. And last but not least, also important is actually the whole set of governance solutions that we provide to make sure that solutions are updated or patched, so that the risk to vulnerabilities are removed on the one hand, and also that we assure governance from a pricing and a costing point of view. So these are the 4 main domains, and as you see, we show them by means of a diamond, here, and within each of those, let's say, 4 main functional domains, provide a number of use cases that you can explore here. So and don't worry too much about the details yet. It's going to be explained over the coming slides. Relevant to understand also is that let's say the capabilities within each of those functional domains are provided by a number of products, and our products, they are supported by what we call our Optic platform. The Optic platform, Optic stands for Operational Platform for Transformation, Intelligence, and Cloud. It is a consistent common platform that provides shared services like analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence analytics, a common data lake, orchestration and automation capabilities, discovery capabilities that are required to support each of the functionalities that we offer in each of the 4 functional domains. And that is a little bit further explained on this slide. So this is Optic allows what we call a composable solution. So it's a shared services layer on which you can plug in additional capabilities. For example, if you need the service management solution, you can plug in or enable the service management capabilities on that platform by installing the proper licensing. You can extend that capability, for example, for the service fulfillment by installing, let's say, another application onto that same platform, providing the same core information, the core services, to extend the services towards your service fulfillment, for example. So I think it's important to understand that there is a consistent way with a common platform through which we deliver the capabilities of all our 4 functional domains. The first domain is that I want to zoom into, let me put this a little bit aside, is the one on service management. And service management is probably an area which you will understand well already. So typically service management, when we talk about service management, we think about IT service management solutions and incident management, problem management, change management, etc. Well, this is indeed the set of capability that we offer in service management. We like to talk about enterprise service management rather than pure IT service management, because our solution is able to not only provide the standards, let's say the more standard processes around IT, so the service management around IT services, but also going into business or enterprise level services like HR management, facilities management, etc. Because to manage facilities, to manage HR, to manage other business-wise, let's say, areas, you also need a workflow. You need to be able to request services. You need to be able for end users to ask questions about that service. You want end users to be able to consult a knowledge base around those services. So it's very similar for enterprise business things than for IT related in services. Here we not only provide IT service management, but also the full IT asset management capabilities are included, including software asset management. And software asset management is a very important aspect these days. Well, it has been, and it will remain to be an important area of attention for any customers, because being able to be compliant with your licenses. For example, if you get an audit from a software vendor, whether it's Oracle or IBM or even Micro Focus, you need to be sure that you are compliant with your license entitlement. So you need tools to discover what is out there, what is being installed, what is being consumed, what's being used, and link that to your contracts, with your vendor contracts, your entitlement. You want to see that you are over compliant, under compliant, etc. Another aspect of software asset management is, for example, optimization. Optimization. Sometimes you can install software on an infrastructure which may require a very expensive license model because of the sizing of the infrastructure, and by moving that software, for example, to an infrastructure which is less complex, less CPUs, memory, or depending on the licensing model, you can save a lot of money. So cost optimization is also part of software asset management. What are the features that we offer here through our service management? Well, it's one of the basic elements of our solution is that we have built our service management solution on top of machine learning and analytics. So it's built into the solution. It's not something which is add-on or whatsoever. It is the core capability of our offering. And if I go into the next slide, then you see an example of the user interface. So end users, they They can access the service management through a catalog, so they can request service. They can search for with natural language, search for knowledge articles. They can search for requests. They can open support call. They can look into existing support cases. They can request services, and then they can always a user can request a service and can also look what is the set of services that he or she has been subscribed to, etc. And that using a very compelling modern user interface. End users are also supported by means of virtual agent, so an AI-based virtual agent that allows to guide an end user or an employee through a service request or support request, or for getting the proper knowledge. The machine intelligence, also the artificial intelligence, or these capabilities are not only used to provide the end user a better user experience and to ease the consumption of services by the end user, but also the operator, let's say the agents who are consuming, who are using the service management solution, they become much more effective and can do their work in a more easier way, because the machine learning that is built in will guide them, for example, to optimally assign a request to the proper resource group, to the proper team who has to manage an incident, for example, or a problem, because it learns from experience, and the system learns how things were done in the past and how they were. If they were done well, it will propose the same good practice towards the operators, towards the teams. So that in a nutshell is about our service management offering. And now, which are the products that are included here? I talked about capabilities, about functionality. Usually when we talk about products, that remains more into the mind. So there are two main products here. We have SMAX, which is our service management automation X for, you can say it, next generation, and that is the name of our products. And SMAX is a solution that provides the full capabilities of enterprise service management, IT service management, asset management, and I will come to cloud management later on. I already explained about the machine learning capabilities, and I will zoom in into the other elements in the next slide. And then we have a second, let's say, a lightweight version of SMAX. It's the same technology. It's exactly the same product technology-wise, but it's called Asset Management Next Generation, AMX. And it's a solution which is, let's say, trimmed down or limited to the asset management capabilities only. So it does not provide the full enterprise service management, IT service management, but customers or enterprises who want to look for an IT asset management solution, or asset management in the broader sense, they can consume our asset management solution. Underpinned, and this is actually part of the Optic platform, are two technologies, and I will explain them a little bit later as well, related, which are very important, related especially to asset management, but also to service management in general, is the discovery of IT infrastructure and CMDB, or we prefer to call it Configuration Management System, the CMS, and everything an orchestrator which allows to automate activities through either an API automation, so application programming interface, or through UI interface. So that means robotic process automation is included in our automation capabilities. These, when a customer buys SMAX or AMX, they get those functionalities included into their offering. Now, what are some of the let's say the highlights of our solution? And by the way, the format that I showed you, the overview, let's say the functionalities, the product names, and the highlights, this is how I will cover each of the four domains. So the highlights for SMAX is the let's call it, well, let's start with this one here, is that it's a completely codeless way of working. You don't need to do any Java programming or Java scripting or whatsoever. The complete solution is configured using a drag and drop graphical user interface, which allows you to easily extend the embedded workflows of functionality, but also to build your own applications, your own business applications on top of the workflow that is embedded in our solution. It has a very flexible and simple licensing model, which is based on a unit model, on a unit concept. And a unit is, you can consume a unit as for a named user or a concurrent user. So that is the model. One unit is consumed for a named user, and a concurrent user consumes 2 units. And you buy a number of units, which you can then use for either named or concurrent in whatever mix you want to consume them. And the good thing is that your end consumers, your end users, the people who are asking or accessing the service management solution for the portal, to get knowledge, to ask for requests, to raise a support ticket, they don't need a license. So the licensing is only limited to the let's say, the agents who are really using the workflow capabilities of the solution. So no pricing. There is no risk actually, or no, I would say no surprises when it comes to costing. You only pay for the agents, not for any additional components or whatsoever. So SMAX, you get all the functionality, no module or option 1 or option 2 or option 3. One price, all embedded. Another element that's worthwhile mentioning is the deployment capabilities. So unlike some of the competitors, we offer a flexible deployment model in the sense that we offer the solution can be installed on premises, for example, in a virtual, physical or virtual servers. It can be installed in the cloud. Support Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, etc. Or we can, customers or enterprises can consume these capabilities through a SaaS, software as a service offerings. So a flexible deployment model, a simple yet flexible and upfront known licensing model, and let's say ease of maintenance and ease of configuration are the key elements of our SMAX offering. And the same applies more or less for Asset Manager X or AMX. So AMX has the same simple licensing model. It has the same deployment capabilities. It uses the same codeless configuration mechanisms than SMAX, and so again, leverage the same platform, so the same outspoken capabilities. Now there's something I'd like to mention here. When we talk about software asset management with AMX, we focus mostly on the data center softwares. So we're talking about the Adobe's, the IBM software, the Oracle software, and the Microsoft SQL Server, and so on. So the enterprise, so the database, the data center software. This is where our strengths lie when it comes to software asset management. We can discover all, let's say, desktop and end user software which is being used and being consumed, but our primary focus is really to give customers the capability to manage and optimize their data center software. Okay, so that's for service management. The next main area is the one on service fulfillment, and here we provide the capabilities for IT organizations to design IT services, whether it's an infrastructure server or a platform service, or even a full-fledged application hosted on a platform and infrastructure. You can design a service, make that make that IT service available for consumption either through an API or through a user interface, through a catalog to end users. Users can subscribe to that, or businesses and users can consume the service, can get a subscription to the service, etc. So you can look at it in one way as a cloud management platform, where you define all your cloud services, whether they're on-premise private cloud services or public cloud services, whatsoever. You can combine all those. You can combine these IT services into an offering, which you make available through a catalog. And the catalog is then available for consumption either through an API or a user interface. And that is one of the main capabilities of our offering. Interesting to understand also is that there are lifecycle actions linked to an offering. For example, let me give a small example. You define a platform being a platform service being a WebLogic server, which is hosted on a Linux server, and it is linked to another Linux server, which is running an Oracle database. And that platform has to be, can be provided, for example, to a developer, because they need to implement their Java application, which they are building on, or which they are developing on that particular platform. Well, the designer, the IT person can then design the service, make it available in the catalog. The developer can consume that service from the catalog and can say, well, I want to subscribe to this service now. I want to instantiate this platform from Monday next week, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, until Friday, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. During that time, the subscription will be available. On Friday, 5 o'clock, the subscription will be ended. Everything will be decommissioned again, etc. And within that period of the subscription, the developer who is using that platform can, what we call, execute day 2 actions, can interact with the service, can, for example, stop the service, start the service, can upscale, downscale the service as it is defined in the service and the service model. That in brief. Here in this screen, you see an example of such a graphical design of a service model. So again, here, the design is based on the graphical way of working. And once the design has been made and we have integrations with a very large set of what we call providers. It can be public cloud providers, AWS, Google Cloud, all the public cloud providers, VMware, Nutanix, a whole lot of Oracle, all databases, etc. So we have a whole set of providers that with which we can develop those services. And once the offering is complete, the consumers will actually use the same platform, the same technology, the same catalog that I showed you before for SMAX, for service management, for our service fulfillment. So again, it's the same technology. We use the same catalog capabilities, the same search capabilities. We even include our AI-based virtual agent also for the service fulfillment, as the one that we have for service management for service for our service fulfillment. The products that are linked to the service fulfillment are the primary product is hybrid cloud management X, so HCMX in short, so hybrid cloud management X. That is the name that you will come across. And as I said, it's the same technology layer as our SMAX, but with extensions to design those services, to integrate the providers, etc. It has a very powerful. It heavily relies on our orchestration engine to build, to automate, to integrate first of all with all the elements that are required to instantiate services and to modify, to execute a life cycle of services. And so it is mainly through our operations orchestration that all these, that more than 8,000 interfaces and integrations are available that can be used for our service fulfillment engine, HDMX. I see that there is an error here. This should be data center automation instead of orchestration, DCA product. The DCA product is, I would say, less applicable here, but it is mentioned anyway. Why? Because our data center automation is, and I will explain that when we talk about service governance part, the last part. Data center automation is the solution that is able to automate automatic deployments into data centers. So it can be a way to consume, to instantiate and to deploy the infrastructure or platform services that are requested. But you can also use, for example, an Ansible or other tools linked into our hybrid cloud management platform that provides the governance layer for the deployment. Something that I did not touch upon is the cost governance capabilities of HDMX, because that is actually part of our service governance functionality, and I will come to that later. So what sets the HDMX apart? Well, I think the richness, one of the important elements is the richness of our integration capabilities, and the rich set of target infrastructure and middleware and applications that we support to automate, to instantiate, and to generate, and that is through our operations orchestration workflow engine. Also, the fact that you can, what we call, build adaptive and reusable service blueprints, meaning you define an infrastructure or a platform service only once, you define the model only once, and then you parameterize that service such that you, for example, can deploy that same service in an Amazon or in an Azure, or maybe on your private cloud. So it is designed once, and then you have configuration and parameters that allow you to deploy the same, let's say, service capability onto different target platforms. The cost governance will be touched upon when we talk about cloud governance. And here as well, we use the same, we leverage the same capabilities, the same machine learning that is also available through our Optic platform, and the same as the one that is available in service management to deliver our services. One thing I forgot to mention, and which is probably interesting to know, is that HDMX, for example, allows, when we're talking about public clouds, so take an example, Azure, what we can do is we collect all the offerings that are available by Azure. We download them, what we call them, it's aggregation. We aggregate, we collect all that different information about maybe thousands of different services and options, and the pricing of that from the public cloud providers, store that into our central data lake, and then you can build your own service offering based upon those, let's say, aggregated from the services that are available from your public cloud. So it's a very simple way to define such a service, and you can also define well, the pricing, etc. So when you make an offer, you say, okay, this is my internal cost. My internal cost is 10, but I want to expose it with a cost of 12 to my users, because you want to, there is an additional cost because of administration or whatsoever that you want to consume, that you want to invoice, let's say, through charge back or show back into your organization. So that's all included. I'm going to skip the next details about the universal discovery and operations orchestration. I touched upon them already as part of the other ones, looking into the time. And
Stefan?
yes.
I see two questions in the Q&A. Maybe.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't pay attention.
No, but
yeah.
so we keep in the same subject. Question is Suze Harvester also supported?
Is
Suze Harvester. No idea what it is.
I don't know by heart. I know I'm sure
the list is long, maybe.
Suze elements there are definitely some supported. I need to look that up. I will come back to that.
Same questions for Terraform.
Yes. For Terraform, we have an integration, and actually for Terraform, that's part of one of the announcements that we have. We have built actually a solution around Terraform. I'll explain it already right now. That allows you to build, let's say, the governance and compliancy around Terraform requests from developers. So if you look at the Terraform allows you to for somebody who has access to Terraform can very easily create and instantiate infrastructure or consume public cloud services. But the risk is that if you provide this to developers, for example, that they develop something or that they instantiate something which is not compliant with your security rules, with your governance, IT governance rules, etc. So we have built what we call our DevOps workbench solution, which is part of or which will be part of HDMX because it's announced, it's in development. That will provide guardrails, what we call around Terraform configuration. So the developer still or anyone else can still design Terraform in the Terraform YAML files, the infrastructure required, but it is actually through the governance of HDMX that the deployment occurs, meaning that you get a subscription. You also validate this against corporate compliancy, security rules, etc.
Thank you.
Okay, then 10 minutes left, so I need to speed up a little bit. Service assurance is the third pillar, and service assurance I can maybe limit it to let's say this is where everything related to observability these days. So within service assurance, we provide the set of capabilities to do events, to do monitoring, event correlation, to integrate with existing, a whole wide range of existing monitoring systems and providing an umbrella management layer on top, correlating, so aggregating events from possibly many existing monitoring systems, aggregating them together, correlating them based upon the topology model that we get from our discovery. So our discovery component is essential to our service assurance solution. Through discovery, we get a complete topology model that shows us which element is linked to each other element. Again, take that example that I used for service fulfillment. We have our WebLogic server, which is running on a Linux box. The Linux box is connected to another Linux server on which an Oracle database is running, and that Oracle database has a number of table spaces. It has some configuration, etc., etc. So all these details, that the complete topology model and the dependency layer is used in the service assurance for impact analysis, business impact analysis, and event correlation and event reduction. So again, this is what you see here: correlation and root cause analysis, event consolidation, event and fault management. And once we detect the root causes or once we have identified problems and the root causes, we can also automatically remediate the root cause, by implementing a correction, an automatic corrective action that can possibly be require an integration with a server or whatsoever, but it can also be a UI-based automation by logging onto an application and having to execute a certain set of instructions. And again, this remediation is again automated through our operations orchestration orchestrator engine, which provides full API orchestration capabilities, but also, as I mentioned, robotic process automation, so UI-based automation. And our solution here also offers event-to-incident bridging. We call that closed-loop incident process with a wide range of enterprise known service management systems like our own SMAX, but also with ServiceNow, with BMC Remedy, et cetera, et cetera. So we have very, not only integrations upwards from existing monitoring solutions into our umbrella management system, but we also have northbound integrations towards other systems to further, and mainly in the context of incident and problem management use cases. And this is a little bit how it looks like. So yeah, a screen which shows you topology, the event browser. Through the topology, you can get an analysis of which business service or business application is possibly impacted by means of an event, and the event is also enriched with information about this possible impacted, about this impact, etc. The model is also used for root cause analysis because of the dependencies. If something happens at a certain layer and other events flow in possibly from other systems into our service assurance solution, then the system will be able to detect or predict, not really predict, but it will try to analyze what is the possible root cause and what are symptomatic events, and it correlates that and provides you that information. And part of this correlation is done through a kind of a machine learning mechanism as well, because we store all the data into our, again, that optic data lake comes into mind again. Our optic layer contains a data lake for which we use our own Vertica technology, in which we store all the data. And there are machine learning algorithms that continuously analyze all the data, all the metric data, all the event data that comes into the system, and tries to analyze the current behavior based upon historical behavior. Two main products that we talk about. One is Operations Bridge. You may have heard about that. So Operations Bridge, which really provides the umbrella management capabilities within our service assurance. And then, particularly for network management, we have network operations management, which is a dedicated, let's say, solution for modern network monitoring and management, and which also goes further than pure monitoring, but includes full change and configuration capabilities and patching and deployment capabilities for network environments, including software-defined networks, and can support network function virtualization for telcos and things like that. So a very rich, let's say, monitoring capabilities. Service assurance. What I did not mention yet is that I mentioned that we can collect from a wide range of existing monitoring solutions like Nagios, Oracle Enterprise Manager, ZenOS, Dynatrace, or whatsoever. We can integrate with all those solutions, but we also have our own monitoring technology, which allows agent and agentless monitoring as part of our solution. Support multiple clouds. We have multiple public clouds offering, so a wide range of technology. Talked about the analytics capabilities and about the remediation as well already. So that is Operations Bridge. And the same for network monitoring. I think here we have the main force of our solution is that we support the newer technology, software-defined networking, virtual networks, SD-WAN, etc. So all those new technologies are being handled. And all these solutions, they're actually enterprise-wide. So they are enterprise scale solutions. That's let's say one of the also the assets of our offerings, that we do provide that all our solutions are really built for large scale enterprises and large scale deployment, up to thousands and thousands of managed nodes and network environments and network components. So, then I have 2 minutes to go through the service governance part. Here, the service governance functional domain provides the capabilities that the customers need to really make sure that their IT infrastructure, that their environment remains secure, remains patched, that vulnerabilities are tackled when known, or preferably predictively. And that is one area of service governance. So that is, let's say, the proactive and also the remediation of vulnerabilities. And how do we do that? Well, we collect vulnerability information from specialized bulletins from all the vendors, whether it's network devices or hardware or servers or whatever. And we make then the necessary patching flows, workflows, and configurations available to automatically deploy what is needed. For example, the patching, what is needed to remediate any vulnerability, or to make sure that your IT components are compliant with your guidelines. So you may define architectural guidelines, IT guidelines, and governmental guidelines into your IT organization that say, well, every server needs to have a minimum level of a certain operating system, or needs to have a minimum version of a certain database type, and or combinations or whatever. Well, through our service governance capabilities, we can assure that we, first of all, can detect if IT infrastructure deviates from those policies. And if they deviate from these policies, we can either automatically or triggered manually remediate or do what is necessary to make that infrastructure compliant again with your policies. That is one aspect of service governance. And the other aspect is a cost governance part. And that is mainly linked to, you remember I touched upon this when we talked about service fulfillment. Cost governance is a second part of overall service governance, and cost governance allows us to not only measure the consumption of everything that is of the services that are being fulfilled through service fulfillment. It also allows you to define budgets, to validate your consumption of your services against budgets, make alarms, etc. It also allows to detect shadow usage of public cloud consumption, meaning the number of dollars or euros that are consumed, for example, in your Amazon accounts without making use of the service fulfillment platform. And this gives you an idea how much shadow IT, shadow consumption is actually done on the cloud, in your public cloud, for example, compared to the fulfillment that you should do normally through your cloud management platform. So full cost governance, and also not only reporting on the consumption, but also cost governance includes an element of guidance, in the sense that we propose optimizations, cost optimizations by, for example, analyzing the current cost of your public cloud consumption, and then the system will propose you possible ways to reduce cost by reallocating services, for example, on reserved instances, etc. So it's not only the reporting, getting a real view on your cost consumption, but also helping you to reduce cost by analyzing your cost, your consumption, and by proposing alternatives, ways to reduce the overall cost of your the resources you consume in public cloud. I have some other slides, but unfortunately I need to stop here because I need to jump into another session. There are a few other slides on the universe, and universe is our annual customer and partner event, our large event. This year it happened in March 22, 22nd, 23rd. I mentioned some of the main of the announcements here that we did, and I already I think I already I explained to you here the DevOps Workbench, which was one of the, let's say, the most important offerings. In addition to the fact that we also offered or announced the availability of our HDMX as a SaaS offering. So I did not mention that in particular, but most of the products, our Operations Bridge, HDMX, SMAX, etc., are also available as SaaS offerings, software as a service offerings. So with that, I need to close. I'm very sorry I overrun in time. I didn't overrun in time. But
I did maybe also a bit overrun for my part. Sorry,
no
Stefan.
problem, no problem. Anyway, the slides will be shared, and I'm available afterwards for any questions. And so.
Yeah, I would say if there are any questions, otherwise just send us a mail and we will forward them to Stefan, and he will contact you to give you more information. Yep, thanks a lot, Stefan, for this very interesting session.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I hope that we will meet again maybe on Thursday. Not you, Stefan, as I think it's not really your product portfolio, but
the other Stefan will join.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot and have a nice day to everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.